Hello again, I'm Coach Kim, and I am here to talk about how we can empower our people to accelerate our businesses. And last time I talked about, I'm calling this the sum of our parts, right? The sum of our parts of our company, of ourselves as individuals. So we're focusing right now on the individual. So individuals, to be healthy and productive and all that good stuff, we have kind of 5 components: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and social. And these 5 components, while they're not really separate, but we look at them separately to make sense of them, they're also very much integrated and connected. So last time I talked about the mental health side of things, which I am looking at more mindset of people and how to also observe your thoughts. So practicing things like mindfulness, meditation. Today, I wanted to talk about emotional engagement is the piece that I'm calling it. So a lot of times we have feelings that can be very strong feelings about different situations, right? We're all human. We're going to be at work. Something's going to happen. We get triggered, we get upset, or we get angry, or maybe we get sad. We become sad, something like that. Our emotions are really important because they're usually dictating or they're telling us something important. A lot of us, though, have a hard time honoring those emotions or even being aware of what we're feeling. And this can be for lots of different reasons. But the main thing that I want to talk about here is when we know how to identify what we feel and we can express it in a healthy way verbally, then we can usually get to a better conclusion with a situation, or like with a colleague or something that's going on. So if I am upset about something that's happened at work, instead of blowing up and overreacting or getting quiet, ignoring people, shutting people out, not talking to anybody because I'm just mad and I'm not going to talk about it, which is what people do a lot. Instead of doing those things, if I can take a moment to actually know what I am feeling and then be able to verbalize that in a way, like I'm feeling really frustrated because I spent a lot of time working on this project and it seems like you just came in and changed it all without talking to me. And I'm just curious, why you did that, why that happened. Can you help me understand that? So if you come at a problem that way versus, why did you change everything? I spent all this time working on it, blah, 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 and put the other person on the defensive, they may have had very good reasons and a very good intention behind what they did. And it wasn't about your work not being good or anything, but we jump to conclusions on stuff. So being able to really be aware of what we're feeling and then being able to verbalize it in a healthy way is really important. Now, this is obviously much easier said than done, because when we get triggered, our smart brains go offline and we can't really think things through very well. So having practices that help slow us down, that give us some space, that allow us to take a break. If you know you're feeling overly emotional and if you go for a walk for 10 minutes, 30 minutes or whatever, that you will have that space and you can calm down and then come back and have that conversation. Those are all great tools to have. So next time you get upset, think about that. Like, what do I actually need right now? Do I need space? Do I need to go journal about this? Do I need to go on a walk? Do I need to talk to my friend about this? What do I need to do to get some clarity around what's happening? And then practice, how can I say this to somebody in a way that is going to be more effective? Okay, so that's one piece of emotional engagement. The second piece is how we do this, what avenues we use to communicate. So communicate obviously is a big deal, and communicating our emotions or a touchy situation is always hard. What I see a lot, and I know I've been guilty of this, is that it is uncomfortable sometimes to have this conversation face to face with somebody. So what we do is we use text, or we use Slack, or we use email, some sort of texting, typing type situation where they can't respond to us and hurt us right in that moment. And I think it's a protective mechanism that why we do this. So we'll use a method like that to convey something pretty touchy. And I've seen people send, pages and pages of stuff on Slack or even on a text. And I know I've done that on a text before. So this is never good. It never works. The other person is going to read that information with the tone that they believe it is coming at them with. They're not going to, even if you meant it in the most loving way and sincere way, it is not going to come across that way to that person. So my recommendation is always in person. First of all, if it's a challenging situation you need to talk about. If you can't do it in person for whatever reasons, Zoom or video is the best second way because, and I'll tell you why. And then the third is phone. Okay. So the reason this is important is because most of our communication happens with facial expressions, tonality, movement, body movements, that sort of thing. You can tell a big difference in how somebody's feeling when you can see how they're talking to you. You can hear the tone of their voice. You can see their facial expressions, all of that, versus just reading it on a page. The actual words are a very, very small part of communicating well. So when you are having something like a really strong reaction emotionally to something, and you need to have that conversation with somebody, please, to avoid any further problems, do it in person if you can. Walk down to their office if they're in the office with you, and to say, can we take 5 minutes and talk about this? I've had a question. I mean, that's all you have to do. And again, if you're coming from a place of talking, this is how I feel, and I'm not talking about, I feel angry because you blah, 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 blah. That's still blaming. That doesn't work either. It's, I'm feeling really angry and hurt because I worked really hard on this and I'm not understanding what happened. Why was this changed? I thought it was already good. I didn't get any feedback. And then I get this thing today and the whole thing's been changed. So that's a much better way to say it versus blaming somebody for something. So if you can do that, go down to the office, have a conversation. If you can't, if they're, maybe in another city or something, ask for a video call so you can do it this way. And then if you can't do that, please do the phone. Do not ever send it in text or email. It doesn't work. They will not hear it the way you mean it. And it's just one of those things that you just have to trust me on because I've seen it too much. But you probably can just look back at your own life, I'm guessing, and look at your experiences and see, oh yeah, all these hard situations that we were trying to talk about, we were doing it through texting. And the only reason we're doing it through texting is that we're scared. We're scared of how they're going to react. We don't want to have to tell them this. It's going to be a confrontation. We don't have to tell them this to their face. It's going to be hard. But hard stuff is important, right? We have to sit down and do that. So I'm talking to myself too, because I don't do this very well either, because I get scared and I don't want to bring stuff up. So think about that next time you're feeling a little bit upset. How can you actually have a conversation with the person face to face? Have a great day. Talk to you soon.